They left in August of 1927. 9 souls listed in the Meridian's log, as if inventory might hold fate at bay. Commander Elias Harrow, Surveyor Margaret Keene, Physician Anton Volkov, Radio Operator Samuel Pritchard, the Inuit guide Nukak, Mechanic Josiah Trent, Botanist Lise Moreau, Steward Enoch Hale, and Thomas K. Blight, the young assistant who kept the lantern. They sailed north from Dundee under a brittle sun and into an autumn that slipped into something else. Morse reports from the Meridian ceased on November 4, 1927. The Admiralty marked them missing. What came back ashore was stranger than loss. Spring of 1929 produced the first trace. Timbers on Bathurst Island, a child's boot, a brass sextant, and a water-stiffed logbook stamped Meridian Expedition, Harrow. The handwriting is careful, then hurried, then jagged. October 18. We found a ridge not on charts. Keene names it Ankar's Tooth. There are caves in the cliff. Nukak will not enter. He speaks of children who sing beneath the ice. November 3. A bell tolled on the floe. Samuel's radio carries a voice beneath static, words beneath language. Lise dreams of gardens beneath black stone. Enoch cannot find his watch. The Meridian itself was never found. Fragments surfaced as if someone had sifted the sea and kept the bones. In 1942, a customs officer in Liverpool received, among walrus ivory crates, a folded photograph, a conclave upon ice, men in half-face bone masks, lanterns and boxes with glass panes. A penciled caption read, "Conclave 1918, for the watch." The photograph led to one patron's name again and again, Mr. Ashbury, a benefactor who gave to museums and presided over private circles of antiquaries. His correspondence, later unearthed in estate papers, pairs him with 2 men who vanish from public record at the Meridian's disappearance. Their notes speak in the cold voice of obsession, preservation, listening, control. In 1934, Dr. Miriam Calloway, guided by a stained hand-drawn map, found an inlet unnamed on Admiralty charts. Inside a cavern, she catalogued odd things: a ring of blackened driftwood, children's shoes arranged upon a ledge, a knotted string whose pattern was more child's play than fisher's braid. Her notes, brief and later suppressed, close with a single line: "Keep the light small. They remember songs." Rumor hardened into pattern. Traders from Joahaven remembered a caravan in 1919, men in dark mantles who spoke of the long watch and preservation. A Cambridge Bay trader received in 1931 a parcel containing a child's toy and a torn journal page. The mask-bearers set the children in a ring and listened to what the ice hummed back. The Royal Geographical Society archived the toy and filed the page as an anonymous donation. Boxes moved to private rooms. Professors were gifted chairs and begged silence. In 1956, a mirror surfaced, scored TKB, whose glass, when held to moonlight, seemed to hum, a tone felt in the teeth. Ira Mickelson found in her father's boathouse a trunk of negatives and that very mirror. The developed images showed the Meridian's crew in a cave around a lantern. A small pale hand reached for flame. Across the negative someone had scratched, "Do not open the light. Do not wake it." Those who probed deeper met absences and obstruction. Files were mislaid, crates refiled, archives edited. An archivist, Joan Pembroke, published in 1974 an essay linking Ashbury and others to private ventures seeking to tune subterranean reverberations.
She argued a circle of private men attempted to coax a responsive phenomenon from ice and void, to name it, to make it answer. Her paper was withdrawn. Her career cooled. Scattered evidence persisted. A carved horse mailed to the Royal Society with a torn line from a journal. They called it necessary. A customs clerk recollected crates that should not have left a yard. Sonar surveys in later decades revealing a void beneath the inlet that sang at human frequencies in peculiar harmonics. Instruments recorded minute mass changes when warmed. A metal box recovered near a borehole contained a braid of hair threaded with iron filings and a slip of paper. Remember. No tidy closure came. Families died without knowing. Men who spoke of the watch were sued or bought. Records became equipment lost at sea. A lighthouse keeper sealed his cottage in 1993, left the key with a neighbor, and vanished. Inside, on his table, lay a child's shoe within a ring of blackened driftwood. The kettle was cold. The latch bore scratches from within. The neighbor would later say of certain nights that the wind sounded like someone closing a door in a room that should be empty. The last fragment we hold is a child's scrap of vellum, folded into a book in 2011. In a small, careful script, "We went to help the dark find home." It thanked us with songs. On the reverse, in a different, firmer hand, one stamped word, "Return." Another hand added, hurried, "If you find this, do not speak its name aloud." Harrow's last journal entry, December 12, 1927, breaks like a snapped thread. "We thought we might measure it. The echo answered our reading as though it read us. Lise spoke a word none of us knew. Nukak ran at dawn. Samuel whispered that it wanted more than listening. He said, 'It wants to be called. If it asks for a name, how do you refuse?' Names bind. Those who gave it a child's syllable thought it gentler. The thing learns names and answered with remembrance. After that night, logs jag. Pages go blank mid-line. Sentences end with the coldness of frozen breath. Decades later, boreholes revealed chambers whose echoes matched human timber in unnatural harmonics. The walls seemed to respond when warmed. A small metal box contained a braid and one word, remember. They numbered, they censored, they bought silence, yet artifacts keep insisting on being read. In a private ledger, someone once drew the inlet and placed a lantern at its center. Names were listed, each crossed and circled until one line remained oddly impressed, as if a name had been written and removed. The keeper of that ledger hid its key beneath a loose stone. He died with shutters latched. Years later, a hand opened the book. In child's ink, we called it gentle. It called our names. Beneath, another hand had scored, "One name left unspoken." The paper bears the faintest hollow where that name should be, not blank, but waiting.